Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna Tashton. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna Tashton.
Welcome to podcast 51. And today we have a special guest sharing her story by the name of Valarie Cook. And I want you to stay tuned to the end because I do have some special gifts for you as well. So let's step over into my conversation with Valarie.
Well, Valarie, welcome to You Were Designed for Greatness. We met earlier this month, and I offered and excited to have you here on our podcast today, sharing your wisdom and your story. So why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about you and say hello?
Well, thanks for having me, Donna. I really appreciate it. And actually for the offer even. I am a working mom who has an 8-year-old, and I'm married for almost 10 years now. I'm originally from Mount Pleasant, Michigan, middle of Michigan Mitten, if you hold up your hand. Small town with CMU in it. A lot of people know CMU. And I was born and raised there. And I went to, due to some unfortunate occurrences in my teenage years, I ended up at an alternative education school called Oasis. Cool school. But the principal of Mount Pleasant High School at the time told my mother that I was never going to amount to anything if she pulled me out of that school and put me in Oasis. Lo and behold, 3 years later, not even, I think it was, just a year later, I graduated from high school at the age of 16, 2 weeks from my 17th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Totally unexpected. Just you worked at your own pace at alternative ed because you weren't hopefully just a standard student. You needed freedom to do parenting if that was necessary, to work, to provide for your family. So yeah, it was kind of like a shocker. But I ended up not taking a traditional route through high school and all of the above, but now I am in a doctorate program at Northwood University for the doctorate in business administration. So lo and behold, there you go, you have it. I didn't amount to anything.
And now you're getting your doctorate in that process to do that. So how is your personal life? Are you married?
I am. I'm married to my husband for 10 years this October. My 8-year-old daughter goes to Grand Rapids Child Discovery Center. Early Discovery is their daycare outside of it, right downtown in front of Mary Freebud. She's going to start school herself, and it's a super important thing in our world is school. But yeah, we have our own home. We're outside Heritage Hill. 3 dogs, 4 cats, the whole world.
Oh, a busy household.
To say the least.
And what do you do for a job right now?
So I work at Samaritas Senior Living as marketing / healthcare liaison. So that basically means that I bridge the gap between the healthcare industry and our older adults who are in different levels of care in our community. And then also help with the marketing. So I'm the face of Samaritas in West Michigan for many things. I do TV spots, radio spots, you name it. I fill in where I can to help spread the word about what an awesome nonprofit that they are. Because we don't just do older adult care. We do foster care, adoption, and refugee resettlement. So I help to make sure the world knows what a great nonprofit it is.
Yeah, I don't think the majority of the people listening know that. So,
yeah.
So tell it again. What does Samaritas do?
So Samaritas does older adult care, which a lot of people are aware of. And then we also do foster care and adoption and refugee resettlement, which is called our New Americans program. And actually we fill in a whole bunch of gray areas as well. that most people are completely unaware of. But if you go to Samaritas.org, you'd be fortunate enough to learn a lot about that. But we are the #1 adopter for the LGBTQ community. We do a lot of really good things throughout Michigan in many cities. We operate in 42 different cities in Michigan in some fashion.
Awesome. And can people volunteer?
All the time, for sure. It's a little different now with COVID,
yes,
of course.
I wondered.
So that is different. We do have the Be the Rock, which is a large, what's a really good way to put this? A large drive-in. It's in replace of our gala that we usually have in the fall. And we do need volunteers for that. So there's a call out for that, and it's actually on our website. So it'd be a really good opportunity. Very little direct contact with humans, but a really good way to give back, but not feel like you're threatening your own health to do so.
Awesome. So back to the, you're not going to amount to anything.
Yeah, turned out really well, didn't it?
What did that do to that little girl?
Well, at the time, I don't think it really did a whole lot. I think it was, I'm a person that if you tell me I can or I can't, if you tell me I can't do something, I'm going to do it. But if you make me do something you want me to do, I'm also not going to do it. So I don't know if that makes me just super stubborn or what, but at the end of the day, I think it registered in me in a sense that it was unexpected that it registered because now, and I didn't do my higher education in the traditional fashion by any stretch of the imagination. I failed out of Central Michigan University on a full ride scholarship my first semester out because I was 17, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So there are, you fall down on your face and you figure out that, maybe that was a mistake. But I didn't figure out that was a mistake till I was probably in my 30s. But I think it's something that's always been in the back of my mind. I know it is for my mother. She brings it up whenever I do something as she considers wonderful, great, or successful. So I guess I'm an underdog supporter. And I guess in some instances, coming from the small town of Mount Pleasant, coming from that background of a single mom, working multiple jobs just to put food on the table, there's a lot of stuff stacked against you at that point, right? So I think in the back of my mind, I always knew I could be something, but nothing motivated me. Like the reason I went back for my bachelor's degree, I'd had my associate's degree and was working in the hospitality industry. And you don't really need a degree for the hospitality industry all the time. You do sometimes, but I'd worked my way up from being a housekeeper to a general manager and then a regional support services person. And then, so it wasn't just necessary, but I applied for a job, I think when I was 31 at Central Michigan University, and didn't have a bachelor's degree and made it all the way to the job offer portion. And then they took the offer back because I didn't have a bachelor's degree. So they said I couldn't do something because I didn't have the bachelor's degree. So what did that make me do? That made me go back to school.
For you listeners, she's shaking her head with some sass.
Yeah. So I went back to school. And not only did I go back to school, I went back to school and I graduated magna cum laude. And then I just never skipped a beat and went on to my MBA and said, I really like this school thing. And just won't stop. I'm now on to my doctorate. So
awesome. And so once you got in your groove, you were really going for it. And something that you mentioned that I didn't think I know, you were a single mom for a while?
No, I was raised by a single mom.
You were raised by, okay, I wanted to make sure that was clear. So you were raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, learning and coming from what feels like sometimes a disadvantage because a single parent household sometimes struggles.
Yeah.
So doing all of that and then continue going. So where'd you find this strength?
I come from a very long line of very strong Italian women. There is no other option. Like Grandma was 4'9", fresh, first generation off the boat, feisty as all get out, but no was not an option. And so that's just, I mean, they were great role models. My grandmother, my mom. My grandmother was my best friend. I have a tattoo of her last birthday card to me on my arm. She's the reason I work in older adult care. And my mother is like ridiculously strong and has had to put up with adversity her whole life. And so, yeah, it's just, there is no other option, right? Like, if you tell me no, I'm going to laugh at you and say, okay, sure. Sure. I will figure out a way to succeed in whatever fashion that looks like. So.
My husband showed me a shirt and it said, go ahead, underestimate me. This will be fun.
I want that t-shirt. My mom sent me that link and I was like, can you order that for me for Christmas, please? Thanks.
He showed me that and he goes, you'll like this. And I'm like, yes, I do.
I so want it. Are you kidding? It's like the best shirt ever.
Come on, this will be fun.
Yeah, exactly. As you're laughing hysterically, going, sure.
Oh, so what have been some positive, you apparently like education and reading. Has there been any specific books or authors that's influenced you in a positive way?
Well, in all honesty, when I read, unless it's for school, no offense to anybody out there who reads to make themselves better, I do it for school, which makes me better. So I read personal, like I love murder mysteries or mysteries of any kind.
Me too.
I'm so hooked on Janet Ivanovich that I wait literally for every November when her new book comes out.
Yeah.
I'm reading last November's right now, which I think is 26. So laugh out loud funny and so interesting. And then Sue Grafton, I started because her story is so sad. She had gone through the whole alphabet. So if you're familiar, A for is for alibi, B is for...
Right.
So she passed away from breast cancer before she could finish Z. And my mom even said to me, she goes, if you like Janet Ivanovich, you're going to like Sue Grafton. So I started that. But things that I like pay attention to for work or just motivation in general is like Simon Sinek. I believe in leadership and transparency and how that looks. Like my field of study is leadership. And right now I'm, of course, going to work on honing in on what my thesis statement will be, but it's going to be wrapped around leadership styles and how they affect the culture in an organization. That could be a family, that could be a school, that could be a place of work, it could be a place of worship. But that leadership style and what does that mean and what is good and what is bad about it, and then how does that affect the culture, and then what happens if you're multiple leadership styles. Like I'm very not laissez-faire, but I'm very like I want to help lift you up, so the pyramid goes big from bottom to little. Mm-hmm. Because I'm helping you be better than you are. And that's like probably my passion in life is making you better and helping you to do that and seeing the light bulbs go off and the excitement. So yeah, I love Simon Sinek. I pay attention to him. He's really positive. I watch a lot of TED Talks. So if you go on there and I just type in leadership, there's some really cool ones that are on there that really make you think about some stuff. But at the end of the day, yeah, I read really purely for pleasure.
Yep.
Because otherwise I'm reading all the time.
I'm always studying stuff for coaching and things that I'm doing along those lines. And so when I sit to just read, I do the same thing. It's something that's just for entertainment.
Yeah.
Just to relax.
It's just mindless. Like it's just something to get your brain from, I live in a world where my brain is constantly probably focusing on 8 things at the same time. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you just need a minute and I still buy the paper every Sunday though and read it from cover to cover, and I'm just old school like that. I'm an old soul.
It's the first time I've heard that one in a while.
Yeah, I know. It's all good.
It's all good though. Oh, so what's your favorite thing to do this summer?
This summer it was a lot of work because when you work in older adult care, the focus is really different than if you worked in general health care. Our job is to keep it out. So I was at work a lot. But I love the water. The water is where I find peace. So I haven't had the opportunity as often as I like, but I do like to go down to Saugatuck and hang on. One of my best friends has a boat down there and just go out to the big lake. But my happy place is the water. Yeah. So that's where we've tried to go. And then just really I think the pandemic made it where we realized being home isn't so bad.
Yeah.
And taking a minute. And I think a lot of people are saying the same thing, right? Yeah, just hanging out at home and reconnecting with your family and not having all of these things to do and be places and over stressing ourselves and over scheduling. So it's been really nice to I garden a lot. So I have lots of flowers all over my front porch and around back, and just to, take a minute. Right?
Yep, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as we wind down our time together, what piece of advice or words of wisdom would you share with the woman who's listening here today?
My biggest thing, and lately it's been something I've been focusing on, is baby steps. It may be hard every day to take that step out that door or pick up that phone or do that project you've been wanting to do, but don't look at the giant picture. I'm panicked last week and had almost a panic attack about looking at, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into with this doctorate program? I can't do this. How am I going to fit it in? So what I tell myself, and everybody should hear this, is one foot in front of the other. You'll figure it out. If it's important to you and it's something you really want to do, you'll figure out how to fit it in. So, and the biggest thing that keeps pushing me is go where the fear is.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't go where the fear is, you're not learning and changing and evolving and growing. So walk right into the fear. Yeah.
And take baby steps.
Exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Valarie, for sharing with us today. And again, thank you for all of your hard work with what you do there at Samaritas and the difference that you're impacting. A lot of people, I don't know how much you hear thank you, but thank you for what you do, because a lot of it is behind the scenes. So thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me, and I hope that at least someone heard my baby steps.
They did.
That's one of my favorite quotes that I've heard in a long time. Go where the fear is, but do it in baby steps. I love that. And I want to offer to you two things today. One is my free ebook called From Frazzled to Freedom. It contains 3 powerful keys to have a life of harmony and peace. So it is on the main page of my website, iVibrantLiving.com. And it also on that home page has all my events and upcoming free things for you. And lastly, going where the fear is, sometimes we need help. And I'd like to offer you a free strategy session to be able to discover what your next steps are and to have some support and accountability while you do that. The simplest way to reach me is you can do it on my website, but you can also text me. Yes, I'm giving you my personal cell phone number. It is 616-916-1432. 616-916-1432. Simply text me and tell me you would like to have some support in taking the next step, and I will reach back out to you. And until next time, this is Donna saying live and love vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashton or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.